It's chick hatching day. G'day there, I'm Dana from Piwakawaka Valley, and today our chickens are hatching, and I thought I'd share that with you. We have been collecting a whole lot of eggs on the end of the bench here. These ones are all to go in the incubator once this lot's out. We also found this pile in the hay shed, and there's some duck eggs in there, so we're planning on sticking some of those in there as well and giving them a go. And because it's such a mixed batch of chickens, we've been keeping the shells as they hatch, which is a little odd. But that way we've been able to go through and see which breeds have actually hatched and which ones haven't.
Hello, I'm Micaiah.
You're a goose.
This is my mum.
And so this is the first batch for the season, so we've been checking fertility. So unfortunately our Orpingtons, we've only had one egg hatch out of that lot, so I've got a whole bunch more that I put back in to check fertility on those as well. So this is our incubator set up down here. Excuse the mess. We actually have the washing line in the way to keep the baby away from fiddling with the incubator. And in there, you can't see them, but there's eggs and some baby chickies hatching.
2.
If you listen closely, you might be able to hear them cheeping.
There's 2. There's
there.
2 though.
Right, who's going to take these 3 little chicks down to the brooder? Could you girls do that? Here's one more that's still hatching. Hey, 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 hey.
Wait, and that one?
I don't think these ones are alive.
That one's so cute. Hello, Bubbles. Hello. Hello! Hello!
Hey, don't be a bully. They're not food. So what I'm doing here, I am helping this chick out. Usually you don't do this, but I wanted to make sure that it wasn't stuck because it has been unzipped like that for quite some time. And sometimes what can happen is that membrane can dry and stick to their feathers. You do have to be really careful with it, and I don't recommend you do it unless you know what you're doing, and don't do it fast, and if you see blood, stop, because the membranes need time to dry out and absorb that blood again. Otherwise a chick can bleed to death if you pull it off too quickly. So I know that chick had been unzipped like that for quite some time, and I just wanted to make sure that the shell wasn't stuck to it. Those Barnvelders and the Light Sussex have taken a lot longer to hatch than the other breeds, which I found quite interesting. This is the first time we've done a mixed batch like this and really noticed the hatching time difference between them. It's probably been a while since I've given you a bit of a farm update anyway, actually. This is our bank just down from the backyard, and we've had the pigs in here and they have had a grand old time rooting up the ground.
Can I say hello?
No.
Hello.
So I think I'll probably put some cover crops or something in here. It seems a bit of a waste of all the nicely tilled up ground to not put something in it to make the most of it. We have since put some rings in the pigs' noses, which has certainly slowed them down. It hasn't stopped them rooting, but to be fair, that ground is incredibly soft. It's all just fill from the house when we built it, and so it's really soft, and it's been raining a lot here. There's a lot of mud, and so I guess it's probably brought the worms to the surface as well. So as our chicks have been hatching, we've been moving them down. We've got a brooder house, so we've been moving them down into there. Put a whole lot down yesterday, and then we brought another few down today. And then there's a few more in the incubator that just need to dry out a little bit more before we bring them down as well. But while me and Talia were in here this morning, she discovered a massive mouse nest. So we've actually, believe it or not, locked our cats in the chicken brooder house, which seems a little counterproductive.
Wait, in here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need you scaring the mice. So here are our farm cats, Cassie and Mr. Fox. And
Go on there.
yeah, whatever. And they have been catching the mice. Talia found this box here that, well, actually this whole area was meant to be empty, and the mice have slowly but surely turned it into a massive nest. And I would say probably 40 or 50 mice all came running out. There's all sorts of treasures in here, like chick feeders. This was a box that some baby chicks had arrived in. It was just full of mice.
If you put it out.
Not sure why there's a hammer down there. My lens cappy thing fell off. It fell in the dust, so I guess that'll just have to stay off. Yeah, so all in here is a whole lot of baby mice and big mice and micey mice.
Can you show me the mice?
No, that one ran away. There's all sorts of treasures in here. Look, there's
Oh, that we should bring that up
a
sometime.
killing stick.
Yeah, we should bring that up sometime.
Yeah.
Cause
So we're just going to leave the cats in here for the day because our brooder houses, are up here and are cat proof. So we've got the extra light on. That's not to keep them warm so much as just to help heat the space a wee bit, because we are just coming out of the end of winter. Even our prop stick has been eaten by the mice. So in here we've been trying to feather sex the birds. So I'm not sure if you've come across that or not, but at the moment they all seem to be, most of them seem to be girls, so I feel like that's not going to be particularly accurate. But in here we have a mixture of, there's some Aracanas, light Sussex. This one here is a brown shaver, which is what we get as hybrid laying birds here, crossed with a leghorn. That's another one there, so hopefully they'll be laying ladies. Most of them are Aracanas, so we've got some really cool coloured ones. This one's sort of grey and white, and these wee darky ones are Barnvelders. They're a little bit smaller, the eggs are a bit smaller, and they have the really cool stripes on their backs. The idea with feather sexing them is you're meant to get their wee wings and open them out, and see the girls have got these little, check you can see, the girls have got these little, they look like paintbrush ends on them. So this chicken is about 24 hours old, and last night when we brought them down here they didn't have the wee paintbrushes, so they grow really fast. And they've also got 2 layers of feathers, so they've got 1 layer here and then they've got another layer happening up here. Whereas the boys, to be fair to this chickie, he is younger, he was just hatched this morning. The boys, their ends are more fluffy, they're not like the paintbrush. And he's only got 1 layer of feather pins coming through, they're all the same level. So I'm going to keep checking on these guys over the next 24 hours and probably have another little sort out to decide if I'm quite sure that these ones are girls or boys, and swap them around. Can't do this and talk at the same time. Yeah, so there are homemade heating plates. They've just got what you would use for a reptile heating mat, and then I've just attached them to some plywood. They worked out about, I don't know, $10, $15 each, as opposed to the proper fancy plastic ones, which are more like $100 each. So for us, that'll do us for now. So my other problem with having the mice in here is that this is our stash. Whoops. This is our stash of heaters that we usually use when we get a whole lot. When we get a whole lot of baby chicks, and I've got 50 coming soon, and the mice have kindly eaten a whole lot of these wires, which has made them unsafe and unusable. So I'm going to have to go through and see which ones are uneaten, and we're going to be setting some mouse traps down here once the cats are finished doing what they're doing.
Also, we're going to go get some leeks for dinner tonight, and that's why we have this knife to go get them.
Yeah. So we'll take you up to the garden and I'll show you what I'm up to up there as well. We need to get some bins to keep that grain in. There's quite a few bags that we're just storing in the brooder house at the moment, and I think that's what's attracting the mice. The warmth, the nesting materials, and all the food. Hey, let's go. This is our genius solution for keeping the pigs in and the chickens out.
Yeah.
Just a couple of boards and some pegs.
Yep. And then we're done with it. Also, we're going to go in my mum's garden and get some leeks.
Yeah. The kids have got their first homeschool market for the year pretty much happening today. They usually have them once a term, but with the whole COVID thing, they just haven't happened this year really. So they're very excited. Our kitchen is full of far too many sweet treats that probably don't all need to be eaten at once, but that's alright. That's what sells at the market, so that's what the kids have made. This is our seed raising house, and as you can see, the onions are going great guns. I actually planted out a whole lot of stuff already. Down here are a whole lot of trees and things that I'm going to try and grow. This latch is stuck. This is our corn that's making a head start. Some of the pumpkins have come up. Got a whole lot of sunflowers there. I'm not sure what these are. They haven't come up yet. Oh, some Malabar spinach and a few other bits and pieces.
Maybe.
Some more lettuce down there that's growing, and then a whole lot more trees and shrubs. I've not had great success with growing them from seed yet, but I ordered some seeds. Yeah, it's nice and warm in there. Come on, out you hop. Ordered some seeds from the UK for some bushes that I know we can get here, but they're really hard to source. So I thought, oh well, I'll give it a bash growing them from seed.
Yeah. Woo! Yay!
It has been super windy here the last 24 hours. Super windy. Like phenomenally and crazy windy. I'm surprised everything's still standing, sort of windy. But that's springtime here. We get really high winds.
Yep. That is so strong. That was so strong yesterday.
Yeah.
Even though when I was riding my pedal bike, I was going so fast. Also, I did invisible skids.
Yeah.
And I turned. I like.
So this is a garden bed that I have planted up with some green cabbage already. This is a 9-star broccoli. It's a perennial type of broccoli, and it's all flowering and stuff at the moment, so I should probably harvest that. Down this end are my leeks that I planted probably honestly about 6 months ago, and they're finally getting big enough to harvest, so we're going to take some for some leek and potato soup. There's a big old daikon radish on the end there too. This is my perennial kale that's going great guns. It's brilliant because it's given us greens all winter. It hasn't died down. my garlic bed.
Yeah, we're gonna go cut some stuff now. Maybe. And we have another one of these, but a ginormous one. Ginormous groceries. Yeah.
And having greens in my tunnel house has been a revolution for me this year. It means that all winter long we've had spinach and lettuce for salads.
Yeah.
In fact, my son's even been eating some of the tomatoes off the dying tomato vine even just a couple of days ago. And meanwhile, these are all my new tomatoes coming up. I've potted them up recently and they're doing really well. Got some peppers on the way. I've got some more tomatoes in here that are just starting to sprout. You can see one over there that's even come up.
That's cool.
I found a website that does heirloom variety tomatoes, and so all ones that I've never even heard of. So I searched on there for anything that referenced cold, short season, and I think I even searched for Siberia because there are a couple of Siberian tomatoes there. So I'm going to try and grow those outside, which is why I've grown them a bit later. And I'm going to try and grow them in the garden outside, so we'll give that a bash and see how we go with that. Down here I've got some baby beetroots in. We had like a massive rainstorm last night, so I'm surprised that they're not all exposed and horrible looking, but they seem to be doing alright.
Oh, look at these.
My lettuces, some of them are a bit beaten up and a little worse for wear, but they're coming along nicely.
Look at these ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
And in this bed I've got some peas along the back and some younger peas along through the middle. And these are my early potatoes that I'll be using for Christmas. They're all up already.
Yahoo!
A few self-sown, I think they might be sunflowers actually, because they're right next to the birdhouse.
Yeah.
And the mice, this is where I traditionally have stored bags of spare seed, not pellet seed, what are they called? Like transplant trays. And this is where I've stored spare ones, and I used to have stacks of them. They're all being used at the moment. I lifted one of those bags full of them and a whole lot of mice went running everywhere, so I think once the cats are finished in the brooder house they might be coming up here to the veggie garden to see what they can catch. This is a cottager's kale that's going to seed, so I'm going to save as many seeds as I can from that as well. It's meant to be a perennial kale, but it's obviously going to seed, so I don't know if I cut it back what it'll do. I'll give that a try. Anyway, let's harvest some leeks.
That must be why that's so thorny. I can harvest some with my
The knife's actually just to cut the roots off.
Okay, I can cut the roots.
Can you do that? Just the roots. Thanks.
Maybe. Wait. Are the roots poisonous? Mom. We're harvesting these for the girls' dinner because I don't like them.
Well, that's about it from us this morning. I'm going to go and get ready to take these kids into this market and piano lessons and all the other things that happen on a Thursday. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to our channel. We bring you videos twice a week on growing and preserving your own food. We'll see you in the next one.